If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Subscribers and followers. I was asked a question the other day on a live chat. What would we change about our camper now that we had it for several months? And Carolyn and I have talked about this quite a bit. I don't think we'd change anything. I think we're quite happy about it. We designed it pretty well. We've discussed making it a little bigger, but bigger makes more weight. And so we don't want the weight. And then when we really got to thinking about it, now I said discuss. This was not a serious discussion. It was, okay, what would we change? Well, we can make it a little bigger. Well, I don't know. It's more weight. And really, we don't need the room. We have all the room we need. So I don't see any changes being made. What if we decided to sell the truck? I think we would pretty much do the same thing. We might make the distance in between the roof of the truck and the cab over just a little higher. I think it's about 2 inches now, and that kind of worries me sometimes. But I mean, that's a very minor problem. Not worried about it enough to redesign the whole camper right now. Which got me to thinking about some of the YouTube videos we've been watching. These YouTube videos, they really do try to encourage folks to come out here, live a more minimalistic lifestyle, and live in vans and cars, trucks and RVs. Whatever you can, come on out here. This phenomenon of living out this lifestyle, I think, is just being really accelerated through the use of social media. You don't know that living out here, can I live in a small, tight space or a big space, or do I need this or do I need that? If you don't know the answers to that question, then I would really start to question myself, do I even really want to do this lifestyle? But if they're out here telling you, okay, you need to come out here and live, and they live in a van, here's the thing I start to question. Why are we seeing so many YouTubers wanting to get a bigger vehicle? And I've seen several. As a matter of fact, I just watched a video of a guy who kind of does videos about these YouTube RVers who are wanting to buy bigger vehicles. And I've seen other YouTubers do it in the past. Now, I know there's one YouTuber who's actually downsized, but let's forget about him for a minute. But all these other ones keep getting bigger and bigger vehicles. Well, their philosophy is that we're going to reduce our carbon footprint on the environment by living in a vehicle. Well, then why are they getting a bigger vehicle? They've already reduced it down to this much. And if you really want to reduce carbon imprint, wouldn't you reduce more? But instead, they're getting back to a bigger lifestyle. Over time, does that mean they're just going to go live back in a house? I don't understand why they're encouraging folks to come out just to go back to a bigger lifestyle. I'm sure the argument's going to be, well, it's very cramped in there, and they got more stuff, and they got more of this, more of that. Well, then why are they living in a van if it's not enough? If they don't have everything they need, then why are they? The whole thing is confusing. It's very confusing. And here's why I say this, is because we live in a pop-up camper. Now, a pop-up camper isn't a lot of room, but it has, 2 bunk ends. One of the bunk ends we were able to use complete storage. It had a stove and a sink, had a water tank, had 2 beds. Could hold 6 people. So it was a good size. And then we downsized to a homemade truck camper. It has basically a double-sized bed. It's actually a little smaller than a double-sized bed that Carolyn and I sleep on. The cab over is just storage, and then there's a little walkway that has everything else. Our fridge, our propane stove, where we take our shower, it's where we use our bathroom. And it's only about, 3 feet by 2 feet. I am asked a lot, don't we need more room? I don't understand why we need more room. It accommodates everything we need. We are quite comfortable. Now, the other aspect of this is, when are we actually inside the camper to worry about the space in the camper? If we're just going to stay inside the camper all the time, and we need more space, why did we ever come out here in the first place? Didn't we come out here to see the beauty and the nature? So we spend the majority of our time outside. And a lot of times we just go for walks. There are times when it's raining and you can't go outside. I get that. But what do you do in your house when it's raining? It's not like you need a bunch of room. I'll tell you what I did. I don't know what all these other families do, but what we did was we sat on the couch and watched TV all day. Or we got in the car and we went someplace. So the situation doesn't change. We get in the camper and we watch Netflix, or we get on the computer. It's not like we need a lot of room. When it's time to cook, Carolyn turns around and cooks. I mean, if you think about the convenience of living in a smaller space, and I'm not trying to sell it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to sell it. But just today, Carolyn was trying to pour coffee in the dark. I mean, it was, early morning. It's not dark. I mean, there's light, but she didn't turn on the light. She said, boy, I about overspilled my coffee. And I said, well, turn on the light. And I hit the light button. I didn't have to get up. I didn't have to go over to the wall. I didn't have to flip a switch. I just hit the light button. It was right there. Hit the light. I said, you don't even have to walk to it. I have made one complaint quite clear about our camper, and it doesn't matter what kind of camper I get. I think I would always have this problem, is I have to climb over Carolyn in the morning because I wake up before she does, so I always have to climb over her. Now, in the past, when I have said this, people say, well, does Carolyn sleep on the inside and I sleep on the outside? Well, then we'd have the same problem, because if she has to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, then she would have to climb over me. So I'm just being a sweet husband and letting her have the outside so she doesn't have to climb over me. That's the only issue that we have ran into living in a small space. I cannot think of one other issue. We have everything in its proper place. Now, that's the other thing about living in a small spot, is it forces you to put things away. Because if it doesn't, it's in the way. And I've said this story before too. We have a little lighter, one of those barbecue pit lighters that we use to light the Coleman stove. Both of us have gotten where we just, there's a little hook on the wall that we were supposed to put it on to, but both of us get where I don't know why, but we always just put it on the bed. And so as soon as we lay down on the bed, there's that thing. It's in the way. Everything is in the way, so you have to put it away, which means you never have clutter. With you being decluttered all the time in these small spaces, it causes less stress. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.